We'd like to ask you about the mitochondria research you've been doing. NYPD, huh? Why are you interested in my work? The suspect mentioned that a mitochondria would be set free. Now, do you? That suspect ignited people without laying a finger on them. Then it transformed into some kind of creature and ran off. Since you mentioned mitochondria, we were hoping you could supply us with some info. Aha! You two have absolutely no idea what true mitochondria is like. The fuck is going on? This is so unscientific. Lore, says Derek. Do you? Fucking do you, you bitch? Huh? Do you? You fucking bitches? You two fucking cop bitches, do you? The mitochondria possesses its own unique genetic code. Its own? Are you saying it's a separate organism? Precisely. Kinda like a parasite or something, huh? Parasite? That's an interesting name for this game. It's an interesting way of describing this most fascinating creature. We cannot live without the mitochondria, do you understand? The mitochondria creates energy for us. Without it, we're nothing. We are here because the mitochondria allows us to be here. Our brain, for example. I love the way Dan looks there. He's like, are you getting this shit? Hey, Brea, are you, like, serious? The brain functions due to the interaction between axons and dendrites. The interaction is possible due to the energy the mitochondria provides. Did you know that mitochondria is capable of discharging 200,000 volts of electricity? This not only pertains to electrical discharge, but also applies to heat energy as well. Heat? The combustions from last night were ellipses. For a human to burn and melt, 1,600 degrees of heat must be generated. There are several hundred mitochondria present within a single cell. All the mitochondria in a body begin functioning at the same time. It would be a normal cell situation. That's just how cells work. Mitochondria the breakdown of carbohydrates causes reactions within mitochondria that turns ADP into ATP, which is then like a battery for the cell, and then you can break down the ATP into ADP again, and that break of energy then causes chemical reactions. It's pretty simple and normal. A tremendous amount of energy would be generated and released. Melting a human into a puddle of fluid would be a simple task with so much normal amounts of energy that are produced by mitochondria every day. So you're saying that the mitochondria ignited these people? Professor, you may be right in that we need the mitochondria to live. But in the end, we're just using them for energy, right? You have no idea. The mitochondria has control over an organism's growth. Take this hand that I've used to beat off so many times. Before we were born, the hand is merely a glob of flesh. Not true. Not true at all. That's completely false. I mean, flesh. I mean, it depends on what you define flesh to be, but yeah, no. Also, if you look very carefully at his computer, he's just using like MS Paint to like draw a picture of DNA and a little graph next to it. That's pretty interesting. To me, just clip all this science that's happening right now. But when the cells between the fingers deteriorate, that's when fingers first form. That's actually kinda accurate. That's almost science. It's actually caramel. Everything. You see this hand? It's actually caramel. The difference between this hand and caramel is so small. Mitochondria controls it all. When the cells which make up the body aren't needed anymore, it receives a signal to die. This signal is initiated by the mitochondria. I don't want to get into developmental genetics here, but I'll have you know I did pretty good in that class. We need to relay the genetic information in the nucleus is cut off and in essence dies. The same can be said for aging. The mitochondria mutates 10 times faster than cells. Of course, this also applies to mutant forms of mitochondria as well. When too many mutant mitochondria multiply, energy production level decreases. The decrease in energy production is associated with the aging process. That's actually, that's close. That is a part of aging. So, are you still stupid enough to say we are the higher species? Well, considering mitochondria is not a fucking species, it's an organelle. Yeah. So I look away from my dungeon for 1 second and died. It's because of the mitochondria, Jamie. You didn't trust in your mitochondria and you failed to rotate your fucking cooldowns properly. But you're not saying that the mitochondria's doing all this consciously, right? When I said that the mitochondria can mutate 10 times faster than normal cells, I also meant that they could evolve at a rate 10 times faster. Which means that they could develop brains, and then they make clothes and they wear suits and carry around little suitcases, and then they join the Illuminati. And when they are in the Illuminati, things get very naughty. Since the beginning of creation, the mitochondria has been evolving at this rate. It's no surprise if they possess a power beyond our cognition. No surprise at all. They're Super Saiyan, guys. Ellipses? Let me tell you something. There was a scientist who tried to determine the mutation rate of the mitochondria, and guess what happened to him? He fucking died. It was unrelated! Caramel Plus. Isn't mitochondria part of us? Are we the Illuminati? With this, the scientists wanted to establish a connection with human ancestry. In 1987, it was announced that the root of all humans could be traced to a single woman in Africa. This finding was announced around the world, and with this, the mitochondrial theory spread like wildfire. You know what they call the root of it all? Mitochondria Eve. Splendid name. Just incredible. Just fucking great. It's fucking fantastic, because oh boy, do I love to say mitochondria. Eve? The suspect in yesterday's case called herself Eve. Ellipses? What? Hey, if you know anything, you'd better not be holding back on us. She called herself Eve? Sorry, but I've told you what I know. Like, everything. Like, the entirety of what I've made up in my mind after getting my PhD. I'd like to return to my studies now. I believe you know the way out. Hey, you better explain what the hell's going on here. Forget it, he started typing, Daniel. He's completely lost to us now. It looks like he's playing Final Fantasy XIV and he's gonna be gone for at least 4 hours.